dimples on your chin, the polish on your toes, and a run in your hose. And God knows we're gonna talk about your clothes. You know, talking about you makes me smile.
Hello, everyone. Come on in, come on in. I'm gonna get started super quick today because I am about to leave for a birthday party. Hi, everyone. Hey, Sheila Jane. Hello, hello. Tell me where you're coming from in the comments and what grade you teach. I'm gonna get started here in about 30 seconds because I'm about to be on my way out the door. Hello, hello. All right, some upper grade people. I hope that y'all checked out Stuck in the Middle. I did a Periscope about that the other day. Hello. All right, I'm gonna give you about 10 more seconds and I'm gonna flip this thing around and get going. I am convinced that I can do a short Periscope. I'm gonna try really hard today. All right, I like to see my Georgia friends in here. Hi, 5th grade people. All right, I'm gonna mute this and get going. Hello. I'm getting pretty good at turning that camera around and getting started. All right, so I have been trying desperately to have a Periscope that is short. So today I am gonna try to make it really, really, really short and sweet and to the point. I cannot promise anything because who knows, y'all, I think I would talk if there were 0 people in this room. I think I would still be talking to my phone because that's just me. But for those of you that don't know me, or if this is your first Periscope with me, put firsty in the comments so I can see that below. But today I want to talk about I'm going to give a quick teaching tip, but it's probably one of the most, or probably the most important teaching tip that I'm ever going to give on my Periscope channel. Is that what it's called? A channel is, I don't know. I've asked that before, but I'm going to call it a channel because I like it. Oh, hi, first time people. I'm glad that you're here with me today. All right, so I am going to talk about a teaching mistake, the biggest teaching mistake that I have made and that I continue to make, and how I am working on fixing that so that either you can learn from my mistakes if you're a new teacher or you're just starting out, or you can realize that you are definitely not alone. I am right there with you. So that's what I'm going to talk about. But first I'm going to tell you a quick story about kind of what led up to this and why I'm talking about this today on Periscope, because I think that it's so important. So I have probably my number one question, and it makes me laugh every single time. The number one question that I get from people when, or on my blog, or when I meet people at the Ron Clark Academy, or, you know, whatever it may be, the number one question that I get is, how do you balance everything? Like, how do you teach full time? How do you keep a blog going? How do you manage your Teachers Pay Teacher store? You're a wife. How do you keep all of this afloat? How do you keep it going? And the real answer and the honest answer is I don't at all. I'm actually terrible at balance. I'm awful at it, and it always cracks me up, and I always laugh at people, and I hope I never hurt their feelings when I say, you think that I have it all together? Like, that is so crazy to me, because I guess what happens is that people see my blog and they think, oh my gosh, these lessons are amazing. They're incredible. What a phenomenal teacher. Y'all, that is the highlight reel. I want you to understand that my blog is my highlight reel. It is, you know, things that I hope that you can use in your classroom. But what I want people to know, I don't know, maybe I need to start posting pictures of my closet and things like that, things that are a total disaster, because what I want people to know is that, first of all, there is, just like there's not a perfect human being, there is not a perfect teacher. I am by no means, if you know a perfect teacher, please comment with their name and email, and a teacher that has it all together in the comments, because I want to contact them and find out what their secret is. But I doubt that there's going to be a person that we can contact, because there is no perfect teacher, perfect anybody. And so on a daily basis, I am making huge mistakes in my classroom, as a wife, as a blogger, as a TPT author. Yeah, real talk. Definitely, I want some truth today. So that I am just going to be really raw and really transparent with you all to share this, because I never want for anybody to think that I have it all together, because I don't. And so I feel like as teachers, we're constantly trying to live up to this expectation of perfection, and that gets us into trouble. So I want to talk about how that got me into trouble, so that way, like I said, either you can learn from my mistakes, or you can feel like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only person that feels this way. So I'm going to hop right into that story, which is going to lead me to my worst teacher mistake ever, and kind of how I'm fixing that. And then I'm going to tag some people, because I want to hear from you all about what I'm going to talk about today. So, quick story. as many of you know, I started teaching at the Ron Clark Academy this year. It was a completely new grade level for me. It was 5th grade, and I taught 5th and 6th grade actually, and I taught reading and writing. And so as I started out the year, of course, I'm in a new school, in a new grade level. So what do I feel like I have to do? I feel like I have to prove myself, right? I feel like I have to be the best teacher and have the best ideas and have these killer lessons every single day. And so to make a really long story short, I, worked all day. I wouldn't get home till 6 or 7. And then as soon as I would get home, I would maybe eat sometimes. And then I would get right back on my computer, because not only was I trying to teach, but I'm also trying to keep a blog going. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to get something up on my blog, and I've got to get a new Teachers Pay Teachers product up, and I've got to clean my house, and I've got to do laundry. And so honestly, it got to the point where I was literally working all the time. Like, I never took a break. I was constantly working. And then on the weekends, I felt like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe I can get a head start this week so that I'm not so far behind, and let me think about my lessons, and let me do my lesson plans, and let me, get all of this done. And I was literally constantly working. My husband would say, are you ever going to get off the computer? And if that wasn't a good enough hint, I didn't listen to that at all. And so I kept this routine up. And I could go on and on forever about how much I worked and how, I literally never listened to any clues. I didn't listen to my body. And so long story short, in September, I started having these pretty severe panic attacks. And if you've never had a panic attack, it feels like you are literally dying. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I just don't know. And I thought it was something health related. And I really didn't know that it was panic attacks at the time. But again, like, I didn't listen to my husband. I didn't listen to my body. And I was like, okay, I just don't have time for this. And I was praying. I was like, Lord, you can't give me, panic attacks right now. I don't have time for this. I don't know what's going on. I've got too much work to do. And I didn't listen to my body. And I kept working and kept working and kept working and kept having panic attacks. It was miserable. They were waking me up every night. I wasn't resting. I wasn't sleeping. And yet here I am thinking, oh my gosh, I'm the worst teacher ever. I'm terrible. Oh my God. Okay, let me get my computer out. Let me think of something I can do tomorrow. I've got to have this killer lesson tomorrow. So and I was constantly trying to fix everything with work. I thought the reason that I was not being a successful teacher is because I wasn't working hard enough. So kept doing that, didn't listen to my body, kept working. And come November 6th, and I remember this specifically because it was my birthday, I was in my classroom and I had to call my husband, and I had to say, and this is just me being really real with you all right now, because I want to share what's on my heart, because I feel like a lot of teachers are constantly trying to live up to this idea of perfection. So I want to make it very clear that there is not a perfect teacher. So on November 6th, I called my husband and I said, or actually, he was on his way to work because we work at the same school. And I said, Wade, you've got to come get me, and you have to take me to the hospital. I was freaking out because I couldn't even move. I couldn't even stand up. I was in my classroom ready to teach for the day, and I could not move. And so naturally, I'm like, what is even wrong with me? I mean, my brain is wanting to work because that was my go-to. I was like, I've got to teach this class. I have an 8 o'clock class coming. I've got to get back in, I've got to figure this out. And so, but the Lord didn't want me to figure that out. So what happened was, I had to end up calling my mom, and I had to go back to South Carolina. This is how bad it got, y'all. I had to go back to South Carolina for an entire month in November because I had mono. My body completely shut down. And the doctors did not know what was wrong with me for the longest time. It took a week to figure out. And I'm thinking like I'm depressed, or I didn't know what was, and I had never suffered from depression before, thank goodness. But I honestly did not know what was happening to me. And so it took a week for the doctors to finally figure out that I had mono. And you know what? The Lord did that. He put me on my butt for a reason, because here I am trying to be, he was basically saying to me, here you are trying to be perfect at everything. And because of that, you're not being perfect at anything. So, I feel like that is such a huge lesson. I kept wondering, oh my gosh, why do I not have it together as a teacher? Hello, I've taught before. Like, I should be able to do this. Why don't I have it together on my blog? Why don't I have it together in my Teachers Pay Teacher store? This is nothing new for me. And so a lot of people have wondered why I did not blog this year. Now you know the reason. The reason was I was trying to fix everything with work. I was trying to be perfect at everything, and I was not being perfect at anything. And so when I had mono, even though it was miserable, can y'all imagine me being on my butt for an entire, like, y'all, I couldn't even walk. My mom had to literally, she had to bring me my food. She had to feed me. My legs were collapsing out from underneath me. It was the most miserable month of my life. but at the same time, it was the best month of my life because I learned a valuable lesson out of that. I learned that, and here's my biggest teacher mistake. So now we're getting to that part. My biggest teacher mistake is when you don't take time for you, and you don't have that time to reflect and that time to think and that time to do something that you enjoy, you can't be good at anything. You can't be successful. And so, I think it's really, really important for us to remember, because I love to have the best lessons too. I love to try to be the best teacher that I can be and try to be good at everything and try to have an amazing blog and an amazing Teachers Pay Teacher store and be an amazing wife and be amazing at everything. But when I'm not taking time for myself, and I feel like teachers are the most selfless people, we're constantly all about giving, that if we don't take time for us, it is impossible to be the best teacher that we can be. And y'all know I'm all about those fun lessons. I love flipping my classroom and turning my classroom into things and taking my kids places and doing things with them. And so, but here's what I found after having mono. When I came home from work, I no longer got on my computer because I just had to set my blog and Teachers Pay Teacher store to the side. I had to. And so when I started doing that, I got home from work and I would spend time with my husband. I would spend time with him. We would watch movies. We would talk. I would play with my dog. And you know what I found out and what I learned? I was a much better teacher the next day than if I had sat on my computer all night and tried to plan the perfect lesson, because it gave me time to reflect. It gave me time to think about things, to kind of just clear my brain for a second. As teachers, we have a 24/7 job. Y'all know what I mean. We're constantly thinking about that student that's struggling, or what kind of lesson we can do, or how we can solve this problem. We're problem solvers. But if we're not solving the problem with ourselves, we can't help others solve the problem either. So that is my worst teacher mistake, is that I learned it the hard way this year. I did not take time for me. And so now this summer, I have really been back in it. I have been trying to get back on my blog because I have so many ideas that I want to share. I've been trying, I've been enjoying Periscope and sharing things with you all. I've also been, as many of you know, I'm going to be teaching science this year. So I've been trying to plan for that. And I noticed something yesterday, that I was getting back into the same exact boat that I was in at the beginning of this year. And I had to stop myself. I had to stop and say, whoa. And this is something that is an ongoing issue. It's going to be something that I'm always going to have to work on. But I have to find time for me. So that's what today's post is about, is my teacher mistake being that it's simple. I wasn't finding time for me. It's not a strategy. It's not a technique. It's not a cool lesson that you can do. It's all about you. You have to if you want to be the best teacher you can be, you have to take care of you. Believe me, I learned the hard way this year. It was terrible, but I feel like I'm a much better teacher. I'm a much better wife. I'm a much better human being because I take time for me. So here's what I want to do. I am going to set 3 me goals, and I want to share them with all of you so that way I feel like I can be accountable. And then I'm going to tag 3 people, and I want for them to do a similar post where, they don't necessarily have to share a personal story, but I want to hear what their goals are for them to make for just me time. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a manicure, a pedicure. I don't care. Whatever you need to do to make you happy. So I'm going to share my 3 me goals, and then I'm going to tag people, and I'm going to sign off of here and get on to a birthday party. So my first me goal is exercise is really, really important to me. It helps me clear my head. And so here's the thing is I ran cross country. A lot of people don't know this, but I ran cross country through high school and through college. It actually paid my way through college. I was a competitive athlete. And so exercise has always been extremely important to me. So I want to say, okay, every day I am going to work out for an entire hour. I'm going to go down to the gym. Okay. That you have to be realistic with your goals. And that's one thing that I know. So I'm going to say that I'm going to exercise 30 minutes every day. And then if that becomes a routine, then I can always up my time. But when you're thinking about me goals, make them realistic. Whether or not I'm going to have time for an hour at the gym is probably not going to happen every day, but I'm going to give 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week to exercise to help me clear my head and really get back to a healthier me. Because as I learned this year, your body is eventually going to take over and tell you what to do versus you telling your body. Your mind can only be so tough and so strong. So I'm going to spend 30 minutes a day exercising. That's my first goal. My second goal is that, and I talked to my husband about this today, and he is on board with me, and I'm very excited about this. Together, we're going to get up 20 minutes early, and sometimes that is going to be hard, but that's why I got him on board. We're going to get up 20 minutes early. Our faith is very important to us, and I want us to be able to spend quiet time together, praying, reflecting, doing devotionals, because honestly, I think that's the best way to start my day. when I did that before, I realized that my day was much better. I was much more focused. I was much, I was on task for things. Problems didn't bother me as much. I was much more calm and relaxed in my classroom. So I'm so excited that he's going to join me and do that, because I think that's first of all important for our relationship, and second of all important for our relationship with Christ, which is a huge part of my life. So exercise is number one with 30 minutes a day, and then number two, those devotionals, waking up 20 minutes. Again, I'm not saying an hour, because that's just realistically not going to happen in the morning, but I think 20 minutes, what's 20 more minutes of sleep? So even though it's going to be hard, I'm going to try. And then the last one, oh my goodness, this is a biggie. Y'all are probably going to laugh. So I might be slightly addicted to social media. So are a lot of you. I know it. Go ahead and tell me if you have a little addiction. The first step to a problem is admitting you have one. So let me know right here if you have a slight addiction. Okay, I have a big addiction to social media, and it's not just posting. It is watching people's videos and looking on Instagram. I just love people. I'm a people person. I love to see what's going on in the world. So here's the deal. I have promised my husband and myself that I am going to spend 15 minutes a day on social media. That is it. Who needs more? Okay, I'm nosy, but I don't need to be that nosy. So 15 minutes a day on social media, and that includes posting, that includes whatever it may be, because here's what I'm going to find. I feel like I don't even want to know or admit to how much time I spend on social media right now, because it would be a complete embarrassment. So I'm not going there. But literally I would be mortified to even know and to calculate. So I am going to try to stay off social media during the day, and then just have my 15 minutes in the evening to catch up, see what's going on in the world, unless, I'm just getting on Instagram to post something quick or something of that nature. But 15 minutes a day. So I feel like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how much more work I'm going to be able to get done by not being so nosy. So that's an issue that I have. I love finding out what's going on with people. So I know, wow, 15 minutes, but I really feel like, that's something that I need to do for myself and for my husband and for my career and for everything. So those are my 3 me goals. 30 minutes of exercise, my 20 minutes of reflection time and devotionals in the morning, and then 15 minutes of social media. And I am starting that tomorrow. So now I want to tag 3 people. I am going to tag Ashley Schroeder from Schroeder Shenanigans in second. And then I also want to tag, because I saw her in here, Sheila Jane. So Sheila Jane, I would love for you, from Sheila Jane Teaching, I would love for you to tell me your 3 me goals. And the final person is one of my dear friends, Erica Boyer. I don't know if she's in here, but I would love to hear her 3 me goals, because her and I talk a lot about making me time and how important that is. So I hope this post was helpful. I just really wanted to be real and let you all know what was on my heart, because I never want for anyone to think that I am getting on here as an know-it-all, because I definitely do not know it all by any stretch of the imagination. I am not a perfect teacher. I make mistakes all the time, and I even struggle as just a human being keeping up with life. So I hope that this will either help someone learn from my mistake of not making enough me time, or make you realize that there are people out there that every single teacher is struggling with the exact same thing. But, even though we're trying to be the best for our kids, to be the best for our kids, we've got to be the best for ourselves. So we've got to take care of you, and I've got to take care of me. So those are my 3 me goals. I hope that you will join along. And even if I didn't tag you, I hope that you will do a post, because I think that it's good to get it out there, and it will help keep you accountable. But I am hoping the scope was shorter than my previous ones. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow with some other teaching tips. Thank you for those of you that joined my classroom tour. I think the number one thing that I got was you wanted to know about the lock system. So I am going to be doing a post on that shortly. And I'll be doing it probably within the next couple of days. So I'll definitely let you know about that. Literature circles are coming. I have a lot of fun things in store. So I hope that you all will join me for those. But I am getting out of here to go to a birthday party. So I hope that you all have a great night. Thank you. I'm so glad that y'all enjoyed it. I hope that it was helpful, and that it will make you realize how important you are, because you are important. So I will see you all back here tomorrow. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.